We know for sure that Kazuda Xiono will be on a dangerous mission to spy on the First Order. But what will Kazuda Xiono discover in Star Wars Resistance? Will he discover StarKiller Base? Will he discover Supreme Leader Snoke? I discussed this and more, but first I want to welcome you back to Force Within TV. I'm Mike, and on this channel, we love the anticipation and speculation that leads up to Star Wars releases. But let's get back to that interesting question. What will Kazuda Xiono discover on his spy mission in the unknown regions? Well, one thing I believe he will discover is the deadly Dreadnought class heavy cruiser. You see, in The Last Jedi, Poe seems to be very familiar with the First Order heavy cruiser. He even goes so far as to say the cruiser is a fleet killer. But how does Poe know this? I believe he and the other Resistance members were informed by Kazuda Xiono himself, and I believe that Kaz will see the Dreadnought in action in the unknown regions. And what about Supreme Leader Snoke? Will Kazuda discover who he is? General Leia seems to know Snoke in The Force Awakens. Is that because Luke told her about him? Or did Kazuda Xiono tell the Resistance about Snoke? Personally, I really like the idea of Kaz finding out rumors about the Supreme Leader, but actually seeing him or discovering him, I think that would be unrealistic. But that said, I asked you, the community, what you thought Kazuda would discover. So first up here we have Jay, and he says, sorry about being a little late with this comment. Jay, you never need to apologize for commenting late on a video. And he says, I think Kazuda will find StarKiller Base like a series finale. Snoke will probably be referenced, and major hints about his origins will be revealed. That would bring the Snoke theories back onto the internet, and hype will rise for the Snoke trilogy of books. Well, I really like the idea, Jay, of having a trilogy of books dedicated to Snoke and what happened in the unknown regions, how he wrestled away the First Order from Rey Sloane. So bring on that trilogy of books. We also have here Hardcase Race, and here she states, I'm hoping his adventures help to tell the tale of Tali Lindra and the Tycho sisters joining the Resistance. Tali and Paige's characters were both killed off as fast as they were introduced in The Last Jedi, and they were never seen in The Force Awakens. And yeah, that's really cool. There is a book, I can't remember the name of it, that goes into a lot more detail about Paige and Tali, so definitely check that out. But hopefully we do get some more interesting backstory to a lot of these background characters in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Awesome idea. Alex M. also stated, I think that Kazuda will find some first hints about the First Order in the Colossus Station. Yeah, that's awesome. We know that that's going to be in the very first episode of Star Wars Resistance. If you haven't checked out my video on the description and title for the first episode, I'll have that linked up above. He goes on to say, it was said that this station will be for repairs, so maybe one of the local mechanics will secretly be working for the First Order, or maybe Kazuda will find out some First Order information from other spies. Yeah, that's a really cool idea, Alex. I like that. The fact that the First Order is definitely going to have a lot of spies. They're going to have a huge spy network, just from what we know in the Bloodlines novel. So it'd be interesting if Kaz comes into, I don't think maybe in the first episode, but the second episode, the First Order is already on to him. We get the introduction of maybe Cardinal and Phasma trying to track him down already. Another commenter, Ivan, says, with respect to the question of the day, I believe that Xiono will discover the StarKiller Base plans, but he won't find out what the purpose of this weapon will be. He will probably end up losing the plans, and maybe in the first episodes we will see how several ties chase him in a space battle. Yeah, I really like that idea, Ivan. I don't think he's going to know maybe all the plans, but maybe he thinks that it's some sort of weapon on a planet, some sort of homeworld for the First Order. That would sound cool. And with regards to the first episode, when I read the description, one of the things that came to me is we might not get a really good look at the First Order. We might not see them at all. And for this to seem like Star Wars, I think that would be a mistake. So hopefully we do have TIE fighters in there. We do have the First Order and Stormtroopers. As always, I like the way you think. And up next here we have Medieval Man 9, and he thinks Kazuda is going to stumble upon a major plot by the First Order, something that is designed to be a game changer when the actual shooting war with the New Republic starts. It'll only be vague rumors at first, leading the Resistance to wonder if it's a new weapon, a new TIE fighter, or even a new type of Star Destroyer. Eventually, they learn that it's a shipyard, a new one that'll churn out new capital and support ships at a rate the New Republic can't even hope to match. They call this shipyard StarKiller Base, and if that goes online, it'll change the balance of power so drastically that the war would effectively be over before it begins. So the Resistance pours all their efforts into finding and eliminating this shipyard. The reality, however, is that the shipyard is meant to draw the attention of the spies and military surveillance assets of the New Republic, and especially the Resistance, away from the real StarKiller Base. One that is being pumped up in importance so that everyone's attention is diverted away as the First Order finishes putting the final touches on the real StarKiller Base. The plan mostly works, but somewhere along the line the First Order slips up and clues begin to emerge that the shipyard isn't the real threat, and the Resistance begins to look for clues of what could be the actual StarKiller Base. But they won't be able to get all the information they're seeking before the events of The Force Awakens. The Resistance, however, still has to deal with the shipyard because the ability to build larger numbers of ships, capital ships, is still a major threat. And that sounds like a really cool first season, absolutely, leading up to The Force Awakens, StarKiller Base. I like the idea that everybody at home would be thinking like, oh, we're going to get to see StarKiller Base, and then it turns out to be something completely different, like a shipyard. That's a really cool idea. But then in the end, maybe we do get some little snippets about what the actual StarKiller Base is. So yeah, I really like that idea. 22 episodes to fill out season 1, so there's definitely lots of time to get little hints about StarKiller Base and for Kazuda to go off and check out this shipyard, but also then later in the season find the actual StarKiller Base, or at least hints about it. Thanks so much to everybody who contributed to this week's community video. I'm really hoping that there's a trailer coming up this week for Star Wars Resistance, so if you're a fan of Star Wars animation, make sure you hit that subscribe button and use the Force within you to make the Star Wars community a better place. Share your speculation and theories and encourage others to do the same. And you can start sharing right now in the comments section by answering the question of the day: when are we getting the Star Wars Resistance trailer? Let me know in the comments below, and may the Force be with you.